Rosanna from Balance Path. Thank you so much for joining me today. We hear a lot about adding joy and happiness and fulfillment in our lives. Well, in today's session, I'm going to talk to you about how you can have all of those things. And it all starts with identifying your passions. So let me ask you, what is passion and why is it important? Well, according to the dictionary, passion is this strong feeling or emotion. It's a strong desire that can get you to do amazing things. It's the fuel and the fire of action. So when you have a passion for something, you're motivated and you're determined. And when something that you want to do is fueled by passion, you get the greatest results. You have that determination to push yourself through it. So here's the first secret of many that I'm going to share. You have the ability to create joy, happiness, and fulfillment in your life. That's right. That's the secret. You have the power. The secret to having all those things is hidden in your passions. So, what are you passionate about? What provides or gives you that fire in your belly that motivates you to get the things that you want? You have to be clear, though, as to what those things are. So, whatever you want in your life, it has to be clear. There has to be a clear definition. That's the second secret. You have to be clear about what you're passionate about in order to bring the joy, happiness, and fulfillment into your life. So, secret number one is that you have the ability to do that on your own. And secret number two is that you have to have clarity around what it is that you want. Now, let's look at three elements that are also necessary. Number one is that you have to state your intention. You have to consciously and clearly state what you are choosing to create in your life. Number two is to give it attention. What you put your attention on grows stronger in your life. Take action and do whatever you can think of in order to fulfill that intention. Number three is practice no tension. When you're putting action to your intention, do it in a calm and peaceful manner. Let it come from the inside. Then know when to let go and stay open to what is appearing around you. The next secret that will guarantee more joy, happiness, and fulfillment is this. And it's a quote by Janet Bray Atwood. And she says, whenever you are faced with a choice, a decision, or an opportunity, choose in favor of your passions. If you followed this rule on a daily basis, do you think that your life would be pretty much the way that you wanted it to be? Yes, absolutely. You are faced with so many choices during the day, and sometimes we're on autopilot and we just, decide on things. Now, some of those choices are good for you and others aren't good for you. So when you're faced with making a decision, ask yourself, is this going to take me closer to my goal of having a joy and happy life, or will this take me farther away? And I think you know which one you're going to choose, I hope. And, sometimes we do things or we make choices because we feel guilty or because we want to please others. But who suffers in the long run? You do. So make sure that what you are filling in your time with benefits you. It is not selfish. Believe me. Get that selfish word out of your vocabulary. Because you won't be good to somebody if you're just doing things because you have to. They're going to know if you're doing things because you have to or because of, you feel guilty or out of obligation. So be yourself and show others that you are authentically living your life according to your true self. The last secret is commitment. Until you're committed to choosing in favor of your passions, nothing is going to happen for you. You have to begin making the choice now. You have to be committed and only you. Amazing things are going to happen when you create the life that you want through your passions. And I'm going to share 10 of those amazing things with you. Number one, you're going to find that you have increased self confidence. When you create the life according to what you want, you accept yourself for you. It's hard to ignore the opinions of others. I know I've been there. I tried to live my life according to what I thought others expected of me. It didn't work. Not only was I unhappy with my life, I had no self confidence, no self esteem, and I felt like a fraud, a fake, because I was doing things that other people wanted me to do, not the things that I wanted to do. So stop doing things to please others. Stop giving into the pressures of society or your friends or your family. Instead, work with your own strengths and interests and learn to love yourself. That's fundamentally the foundation of how to bring joy, happiness, and fulfillment into your life. Number two is your stress will go down. Now, let me tell you, not all stress is bad, and we all know that. When you're stressed because you're doing something that you don't like, it's bad stress. But when you're stressed because you're doing something that you love, that's good stress. So let me explain. Bad stress is when you don't like what you're doing. So, for example, getting up in the morning, driving to work, or even putting on your clothes, all for a job that you really hate. You dread every Monday morning and you can't wait for Friday to roll around. This stress lasts with you all the time. This is bad stress. Instead, the stress that you get when you love what you're doing is different because this stress acts as your internal motivator. That kind of stress, that good stress, actually helps bring balance into your life. That stress comes and goes depending on what you're working on. So, for example, I have been stressed about recording this video, but that stress has provided me with the motivation to actually record it. Once it's done, I'm not going to have that stress anymore. It's gone. Number three is that you actually have work-life balance. When you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. That means that if that happens, you have work life balance. Work life balance is needed when your work is draining you or you don't like what you do. When you're passionate about what you do, your life is in a constant balance. So your work doesn't feel like a job because you would do it for free. And what I mean by that is when you are passionate about something in your life, even though you might hate your job, but because you are passionate about your personal life, you might actually enjoy that job. So something that you hated, you might like once again. Number four is you're going to have fewer regrets later in life. At the end of it all, we're not going to regret the things that we do as much as we will regret the things that we didn't do. When people have conversations, they talk about why they didn't do X, Y, and Z. They are having these conversations when it's too late. So take that risk, be yourself, and do what you're passionate about. Include those things that make you joyful and happy and fulfilled. Number five is that you will experience personal growth. Most people don't live out their passions because they're afraid of the uncertainty. Maybe you need a certain skill. Maybe there is some growth that has to happen. Whatever it is, take the time to develop the things that you need. Don't jump into anything too quickly. Take your time. For example, if you are passionate about teaching your children about financial literacy, but you need some skill in that yourself, gain the skill and then teach your kids about it. If that's what you're passionate about, do it. That'll make you happy. Number six is that you will expand your comfort zone. Don't feel that you have to give everything up to follow your passions. At the end of the day, you still have to earn a living. Now, you may have limiting beliefs that prevent you from starting your journey to change your life, but your life can be changed in an instant. Expand your comfort zone by trying new things a little at a time. You can still continue with your current job, let's say, but you can pursue a new adventure on the side. And you can always shift when it feels comfortable to do so. little by little. And before you know it, you'll be living the life that you were striving for. So, this little adventure on the side, I used this example before, might make you love your job even more, even the job that you hate, because now you have something else that isn't consuming you day and night. You have this new adventure on the side that you're going to work on in your free time. And maybe your full time job that you hate is supporting that adventure on the side. So now you're kind of liking that job that you once hated, maybe. Number seven is that you're going to connect or reconnect with your inner self. Do you remember a time in your life when you felt free and anything and everything was possible? I do. So when you start to include and live your passions, you're actually reconnecting with who you really are, and you're reconnecting with those things that you loved as a child. What were those things that you loved to do? I bet society has a lot to do with the things that we say we love to do, because we're so inclined in pleasing everybody, pleasing our family, our friends, going with the flow because everybody's doing it. Well, we have to do it too. But forget about society. Go back to your true self and revisit your childhood joys and remember what you're passionate about. What is the real you? Who is the real you? The real you before you were forced to grow up, the real you before you felt like you had to conform to society. Number eight is that you will become a kinder person. The world would be a better place if everybody lived according to what they were passionate about. You will find that there is peace and joy within yourself when you're living out your passions and you're including the joy and the happiness and the fulfillment in your life, because this is going to rub off on how you interact with others. You're going to be satisfied. You're going to be at peace. You're going to have joy and happiness with yourself and the world in general. Number nine is you have the ability to change the narrative. You know who you are, what you can do, and what you deserve. You have this inner voice that tells you that you have everything. But deep down inside, you're unhappy. That was me a few years ago. On the outside, I had everything: a beautiful house, two healthy children, a great job, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I was unhappy in here. And then, of course, I felt guilty for feeling that way, but I had to come to terms and find my true self through my passions. And I changed the narrative of my own life. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you have the power. It's in you. And number 10 is that you can conquer your fears. When you have fear, that fear leads to procrastination, which leads you feeling stuck, which prevents you from moving forward. If you don't conquer your fears, they will continue to grow and they will control you. Our mind is a powerful thing. Our mind has the capability of controlling us. Don't let that happen. Control your mind instead of allowing it to control you. Now that you know the secrets on what's needed to lead a passionate life, practice them and see the changes begin to happen. Which one are you going to implement first? I'd love to hear which one resonated with you. Comment below and let's start a conversation. Let's help each other out. As always, please help me by liking and sharing my videos and, of course, subscribing to my channel. Blessings and gratitude.